first question is from the topic algebra. It is a quite familiar identity. So if you are seriously preparing for these kinds of competitive exams, otherwise very rarely we are using this identity. Here first we have to consider what is the value of x cube plus y cube plus z cube. So here in such a identity, here the basic identity applicable here, so that is x cube plus y cube plus z cube minus 3xyz. So this is equal to x plus y plus z into x square plus y square plus z square minus. So here we have to subtract this x, y, y, z and zx. So this is the literal expansion of this identity. That is x cube plus y cube plus z cube minus 3xyz equal to x plus y plus z, x square plus y square plus z square minus xy minus yz minus zx. So here we just consider the values from the given set of observations. Here we have to find out what is x cube plus y cube plus z cube. So here this is x cube plus y cube plus z cube minus, what is this 3 into xyz? It is given that xyz also be equal to minus 4, therefore 3 into minus 4, and on right side this is x plus y plus z, it is given that value is 1. So this is x square plus y square plus z square minus, so this is xy plus yz plus xz. So we can consider this value is also be equal to minus 4 because it is given that xy plus yz plus zx equal to minus 4. So like this way we can expand. Here again we have to consider the value of x square plus y square plus z square. That's another very important point here. So how to convert it? First of all, we can rearrange the values like x cube plus y cube plus z cube. This is plus 12 is equal to x square plus y square plus z square plus 4. So what is the value of x square plus y square plus z square? That's the next important step here. So you just consider the expansion. Consider the expansion x plus y plus z the whole square. What is the value of x plus y plus z the whole square? So that is equal to x square plus y square plus z square plus 2 into xy plus yz plus zx. While we are substituting the values, here x plus y plus z, that's equal to 1, therefore this is 1 square equal to x square plus y square plus z square plus 2 into minus 4. He will get this is equal to x square plus y square plus z square. This is minus 8, take towards left side, therefore this is equal to 9. So you just substitute the values here. So here just substituting the value of x square plus y square plus z square. So what you will get, this is x cube plus y cube plus z cube. So equal to, instead of this x square plus y square plus z square, you just put that value as 9. So 9 plus 4 and take this 12 towards right side. So this is equal to 1. Hence the required value of the given expression x cube plus y cube plus z cube is equal to 1. So it's a Paka algebraic type of algebraic expansions based on that very important identity. Here we can catch the answer of this type of questions. Got it? So move to the next question. So it's another important question from the area of binomial expansion. Here we have to find out the constant term in the expansion. So as you know, you can recall the expansions like a plus b the whole square, a minus b the whole square, a plus b the whole cube, a minus b the whole cube, like that. Here it is cube, that is a minus b the whole cube. So just recall, what is a minus b the whole cube? So a minus b the whole cube is very simple, that is a cube minus 3a square b plus 3ab square minus b cube. Got it? So instead of a and b, you just consider 5x square and 1 by x. So what will happen if we are considering 5x square minus 1 by x, the whole cube. So as per this expansion, this is 5x square, the whole cube, minus 3 into 5x square into 1 by x, plus 3 into 5x square. So here 5x square the whole square, 5x square the whole square. So this is 5x square into b square, that is 1 by x the whole square, and minus 1 by x the whole cube. So this is the expansion. If we are considering its exponential values and combine the values together, so like that, how it will become, this is 5 cube, that is 125, and x square the whole cube is equal to x raised to 6. And what about this value? This is equal to, so what is 5 square? That is 25, 25 into 3, so that is 75. So this is x raised to 4 by x, which is equal to x cube. And the next value plus, here 3 into 5, 15, x square and 1 by x square become eliminated or simplified. So minus, this is 1 by x cube. Got it? So while we are considering this expansion, here we have different types of terms. Out of these all terms, which is a constant value, which doesn't have in the presence of x. So here this 15. So therefore, which is the constant term? Therefore, the constant term is positive 15. So that's the answer here. So answer is option 1. So that's a binomial expansion, but based on this identity. Actually, this identity is an application of binomial expansion. If you're well aware about that identity, we can catch the answer. So it's a comparatively easier one. It's not a difficult kind of question to answer. So most of you, most probably you got the answer of this question. The next one, it's a question from geometry. In a trapezium, PQRS, PQ is parallel to RS and diagonal PR and QS intersect at O. PQ equal to 4 centimeter, SR is 10 centimeter. Then what is the area of triangle POQ and triangle SOR? So it's a simple, tricky question. Once you are familiar with the concepts, basic concepts, so then within seconds you will get the answer of this type of a question. First of all, we can draw a diagram. Here we just consider a trapezium. So this is a trapezium. Right? So just join these 2 points. And it is given that the diagonals intersect at O. So if you are considering this diagonal, so 1 second. This diagonal and another diagonal. They intersect at point O. Correct. So consider this a trapezium. So the name of this trapezium is PQRS. So how to name them? PQRS. Here PQ is 4 centimeter and this RS is 10 centimeter. Correct. We have to find out this triangle POQ. So this is O, POQ and ROS or SOR. So consider the triangle POQ and ROS from this diagram. So here consider the triangle POQ and ROS. Correct? So while we are considering these two triangles, so we are going to prove that those two triangles are similar. So that's the trick behind such a question. So here how we can start here. So while we are considering these angles, angle P equal to angle R. correct? So in short, we can write this is angle P, which is equal to angle R. So what's the reason here why we can conclude these two angles are same? So just because these two angles are alternate interior angles. Similarly, this angle Q is same as angle S, correct? This angle Q is same as angle S. So that is also alternate interior angles. So the reason for those two conditions, just because of alternate interior angles, correct? Alternate interior angles. So these two angles are alternate interior angles. Then after that, we can compare these two angles. So what is the specialty of these two angles? So those are POQ, ROS. So that's the next set of angles. Angle POQ, so equal to angle ROS. What is the reason here? These two angles are vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles are equal. So vertically opposite angles. Actually, no need of such a conclusion here. With the help of these two set of equalities, we can make the conclusion that triangle POQ is similar to triangle ROS. So we can conclude triangle POQ is similar to triangle ROS. If two triangles are similar, then what we can conclude about the ratio of their areas? Here, area of triangle POQ is to area of triangle ROS. So that is the tricky concept. If two triangles are similar, then their areas will be in the ratio that is equal to the ratio of the square of their corresponding sides. So here we are considering the sides PQ. So this is PQ square is to R square, correct? PQ square is to R square. So here we have the value PQ, that is 4. So this is 4 square is to this one denominator 10 square. So consider the value. This is 16 by 100, or that will be equal to 4 by 25. So this is 4 by 25. 4 by 25. So this is our required ratio. How to express this value in the ratio form? This is 4 is to 25. So then again, whenever you are facing the similar type of question in your papers at that time, you just keep this point in your mind. So this is the important point here, correct? So that means two similar triangles, if we are comparing their ratio, means comparing their areas, so that means ratio of their areas will be equal to the ratio of the squares of the sides, corresponding sides. Next question, it's from profit and loss, or the discount related question. A shopkeeper buys an article for 30% discount on its marked price and sells it at 5% discount on its marked price. So that discount, in both the discounts applicable on the same marked price, that's the important point. If he earns a profit of 65, then what is the marked price in rupees of the article? Here we can start from marked price. Suppose the marked price of the article is 100. So what is the cost he spent for purchasing this product? He received a discount of 30%. So therefore the cost price we can consider that is 100 minus 30, which is equal to 70 rupee. As per the assumption, we can consider like that. If the marked price of the article is rupees 100, then the cost price of such an article is rupees 70. So therefore, what is the selling price? While selling that article, he gave 5% discount on its marked price. So here again, the marked price as rupees 100. So gave an offer of 5% discount on 100 rupee. Therefore, the selling price become 95. So he made a profit of 65. So as per this assumption, what is the profit here? 70 plus 95. So there is a profit of 25, right? So this is the profit. So then we can connect it. If this 25 is representing, so actual rupees 65. It is given that that profit is rupees 65. Then what was the marked price that we have to find out? Then what this 100 represents? So that's a simple logic. If this 25 is representing 65, rupees 65, what this 100 represents? So how to reach the conclusion? So that's a very simple thing. Here, we know that 25 into 4 will be equal to 100. 25 into 4 is 100. So this is simply 65 into 4, that's it. So therefore, this is 65 into 4. So then find out what will be the value. So that's equal to 260. So therefore, the answer is rupees 260. Clear? So this is the answer. So this is an easiest question in this set. So consider the next question here. If tan theta equal to 5, then the value of cosec square theta plus sec square theta divided by cosec square theta minus sec square theta. So we can apply identity method for finding the answer of this question. Instead, we can apply it in a geometrical way also. Here, if we will get such a question without specifying the quadrant, in which quadrant this theta lies, we can basically assume this theta lies in the first quadrant. So we can simply assume that like that, because all the values become positive in that quadrant like that. So therefore, we are considering such a triangle. So as per the given data, tan theta, so that is equal to root 5. As we know, what is tan theta? Tan theta means, so that is opposite side. So that is opposite side divided by adjacent side. So that is tan theta. So therefore, we can assume that as root 5 by 1. So think about such a diagram, a triangle in the first quadrant, such a triangle in the first quadrant. So here, the triangle we can consider the first quadrant. Got it? Suppose this angle, this acute angle is theta. Opposite by adjacent. So here, opposite side as root 5, adjacent side as 1. So therefore, applying Pythagoras theorem, we can find out what is its hypotenuse. Got it? So this is the hypotenuse here. So what will be the hypotenuse? How to find out hypotenuse? That's hypotenuse is equal to root of root 5 square plus 1 square. So that will be equal to root 6. Now we have the hypotenuse that's equal to root 6. So then we can find out which are cosec theta and sec theta. So here, cosec square theta. So cosec square theta. Here, what is the value of cosec square theta? Here, cosec square theta is equal to, so the value of cosec square theta. Cosec square theta is the inverse of sine theta. Correct. So therefore, that will be equal to hypotenuse by opposite side. So therefore, that is equal to root 6 by root 5, the whole square. So therefore, this value is 6 by 5. And what will be the value of sec square theta? So that is sec square theta. So that is hypotenuse divided by adjacent side. So whole square. So that will be equal to root 6. So root 6 by 1, the whole square. So which will be equal to 6. Then we can find out the required expression. So here the required expression, how it will become. So this is cosec square theta plus sec square theta, cosec square theta plus sec square theta divided by cosec square theta minus sec square theta. So here the cosec square theta, we already got that 6 by 5 minus sec square theta, so that's equal to 6 by 1. So here 6 by 1 divided by. So here the numerator, that is plus. Denominator 6 by 5 minus 6 by 1. 6 by 1 in the sense 6 itself. Got it? So you just simplify it. So this is equal to 36 divided by, this is equal to minus 24. Or simplifying this one here, we will get this is equal to minus 3 by 2. Got it? So our answer is option 3. That is minus 3 by 2. So that's a simple trigonometry question. So you can find the answer of this question with the help of trigonometrical identities or relationships. Now the next question here. It's a question from ratios. A sum of rupees 6342 is divided amongst A, B, C, D in the ratio 3:4:8:6. What is the difference between the shares of B and D? First of all, we have to consider the distribution A, B, C and D. So the distribution ratios are 3, 4, 8, 6. 3, 4, 8 and 6. So what is the difference between the shares of B and D? While we are considering B and D, what is the difference here? That is 2. So what is the total here while we are considering the total? So what is the total here? So that's equal to 6 plus 4, 10, 18 plus 3, 21. So as this 21 is representing a total of 6342, 6,342. Got it? So then what this 2 represents? So that's the question. So you can directly do it. So this is 6,342 divided by 21 into 2. So simplification, we can do it easily. Here we know that 3 times of 21 will be equal to 63 and 4 is there, therefore put a 0, then 42, 2 times the into 2. So this is equal to 604. That's the share or the difference between these two quantities, which will be equal to option 4, 604. Okay, move to the next question. So here, it's a tricky identity based question. A square minus pi root 2x plus 1 equal to 0. Then what is the value of x cube plus 1 by x cube? X plus 1 by x. So if we have such a question, so how to do it? Here, x square minus 5 root 2 x plus 1 equal to 0. So you just divide all these terms by x. Divide by x. So then what will happen? So when we are dividing these terms by x, so this will be equal to x minus 5 root 2 plus 1 by x is equal to 0. Correct? So therefore from this step we can find what is x minus 1 by x, that's equal to 5 root 2. So consider the expressions as the numerator and the denominator. So how to find out this x cube plus 1 by x cube? For getting the value of x cube plus 1 by x cube, you just take the cube of this value. Here we have the value, so that is x plus 1 by x equal to 5 root 2. So here what is x cube plus 1 by x cube? You just take the cube of this expression. So here, so x plus 1 by x the whole cube. On right side, that is 5 root 2 the whole cube. Got it? So therefore, this is equal to x cube plus 3ab square. So that is 3 into x square. 3a square b. So this is 3x square b, this value. So the second value, 3a square b. 3 into x square into 1 by x plus 3ab square. 3 into x square, 1 by x square plus b cube. b cube means 1 by x cube. So that is 5 root 2 cube. So 5 root 2 cube, that will be equal to 250 root 2. Got it? So that will be equal to 250 because we know that 5 cube is equal to 125. Root 2 cube is equal to 2 root 2. So 125 into 2. So here we will get the value. This is equal to, this is x cube plus 1 by x cube plus 3 into x plus 1 by x. So that is equal to 250 into root 2. 250 root 2. So here we have, what is this? X plus 1 by x. So therefore x cube plus 1 by x cube. So that is 250 root 2 minus 3 into 5 root 2. Got it? 3 into 5 root 2. Here what will be the value at that time? So this is equal to, so while we are considering this operation, this is 15. So therefore this is 250 root 2 minus 15 root 2. So therefore 235 root 2. So this is the value of x cube plus 1 by x cube. Once we will get the values like this, x plus 1 by x as 5 root 2 and x cube plus 1 by x cube as 235 by root 2. We have to find out what will be the value of x cube plus 1 by x cube divided by x plus 1 by x. So finally we are considering what will be the final value of, here if we are considering the final value as, we need to find out x cube plus 1 by x cube divided by x plus 1 by x. So what is x cube plus 1 by x cube? So that is 235 root 2 divided by x plus 1 by x, that is 5 root 2. So here we know that root 2 becomes simplified. This 235 by 5, so that's equal to 47. So what is the answer of this question? So that is equal to first option. So here, instead of doing the operations like this much, we can directly find out from this x plus 1 by x, which will be the value of x cube plus 1 by x cube. So while considering the second step of operation, so there we have to consider the tricky way to find out from x plus 1 by x, how to find out x cube plus 1 by x cube. So here, if x plus 1 by x equal to k, then if you need to find out x cube plus 1 by x cube, that is simply k cube minus 3k. So it's a very useful result while solving this types of questions. Clear? Similarly, in some situations we have to find out what is the value of x square plus 1 by x square. So then what is the way to find out the answer of such a question? So that is equal to k square minus 2. So that's another useful result in the similar type. So here our answer is, in this question, our answer is option A, that is 47. The next question, it's a simplification question. 6 by 4, I just rewrite the question here. 6 by 4 of 3 minus 4 by 6 into 13 minus 10 minus 2 into 50 divided by 6 into 6. So it's such a lengthy simplification question. So from where we have to start our operation. So while we are considering that board mass, so we have to start from bracket. So what is the value from this bracket? That is equal to 3. So just write that is 3. So which is the second step of operation of. So what is the value here? So this is equal to 4 of 3, that is 12. So if you are writing the rest step of operations, then after that which will be the step of operations here? So this is equal to division, that is 4 by 6. So we can write the steps. Here this is equal to 6 divided by 12. So this first step that we can write as 6 divided by 12, write like this, minus 4 divided by 6 into 3. So consider these two steps entirely. That will be we can write like this. Minus, there is a division. That division is nothing but 15 by 6. But before that, there is a 2. 2 into 15 by 6 into 6. So this is the step of operation. We can deduce the steps of operations like this. So this is equal to 1 by 2. So minus, so this is equal to 2 minus, so this is equal to 30. So this is 32 minus or 1 by 2 minus 32. So 1 by 2 minus 32. So think about it in your mind. You just subtracting 1 by 2 and 32, or find the difference between 32 and 1 by 2. Which will be the difference? Difference is 31 and 1 by 2. And here the value is negative. So that is 31 and 1 by 2. That is negative 31 and 1 by 2. So next question. A sum of 3125 amounts to 3,515.20 in 3 years at X% per annum interest being compounded yearly. So it's a compound interest situation. First of all, we have to find out the value of X here. What will be the simple interest on the same sum and for the same time at X plus 2% per annum? So here the first step of operation, that the method to find out the value of X. How to find the value of X here? So here we know that this P into 1 plus R by 100. So that's equal to amount. So therefore 1 plus R by 100 the whole raised to n. So how to find this step easily? That is simply final amount 3515.2 divided by initial amount, that is 3125. So this is the first direct entry step. From this step we can find out the value of R. So whenever we are doing similar type of operations, keep it in your mind. If this exponent is 3, so definitely this will be the form of a cube. But we have to identify which value's cube it is. So before that, for balancing this decimals, so I just multiply both the numerator and denominator by 10. So this is 31250. So we can divide both the values by 2. That's the only the thing we can easily identify here. So here this is, while when we are dividing both these values by 2, so that is 1, 7, that is 34, 11 is there 5, 15, 7, 6. And on denominator, that is 15. So 6. So this is 2, 5. Just observe the values. Do you have any idea about the cube root of these values? So how to find out the cube root of a value? I just give that idea easily here. Suppose we just consider, if you need to find out the cube root of this value. So this is the cube root of such a value. So you just take, it has 3 digits from right side. Got it? So that means we reach the conclusion that further simplification is not possible here. Then after that only you have to do the operation. So here, so what is the cube lies in this range? 17. What is a cube? We know that that is 2 cube. 2 cube equal to 8. If we take 3 cube, what it will become? So if it is 3 cube, that is 27. That's beyond this range. Next we have to consider this unit digit. Which number's cube will end in 6? Only 6's cube. Got it? So that means if this number numerator is a perfect cube, definitely that's the cube of 25. If that numerator is a perfect cube, definitely that's a cube of 26. So you can write it as 26 cube. At the same time, by using the similar logic, the denominator should be 25 cube. Got it? So that's the way to find out the cube of numbers easily. If the given number is a perfect cube, then after that, this is, we can take the cube root on both the sides. Therefore 1 plus R by 100 is simply 26 by 25. From this step we can find out what is R by 100. So here R by 100, that is 26 by 25 minus 1. Or this is simply 1 by 25. 1 by 25. If R by 100 is equal to 1 by 25, therefore R is equal to 100 by 25. So which is equal to 4%. We have to find out the next interest. So here we got instead of r, we just consider these all are in our question, that is x. So instead of r, we just consider these all values are x. So here the rate of interest as x. So then we are considering the new situation. So new situation there. So that's the second situation. Here the rate of interest as x plus 2%. So then what is x plus 2? So here x plus 2 is equal to here 6%. So that is 6%. So then we have to find out the interest, simple interest, for 3 years at the same sum at the 6% per annum rate of interest. Therefore, simple interest, we know that PNR by 100. Here P is 3, 1, 2, 5. Then N means 3 years and R by 100. So this will be the way. Got it? Then how we can simplify it? So you just keep the denominator in that form itself. Just do the multiplication on the numerator. So first of all, we just multiply here. This 3125 into 3. So that is equal to 75. 3 times of 25 is equal to 75. And 3 times of 31 is equal to 93. And this into 6. So that is 33 is there. 42 plus 3, 45. 4 is there. 22, 2 is there. 56. So that is 56250. So therefore this value is equal to 56250 divided by 100. So what will be the value here? That is 562.50. So that's the answer. And the answer is option 1. That is 562.50. Next is a time and work question. A can complete a work in 60 days. B is 25% more efficient than A. So first of all, we just consider the efficiencies of A and B. Here A and B. Got it? So if you are considering their efficiencies, it is given that B is 25% more efficient than A. So what is the corresponding fraction of 25%? Its corresponding fraction 1 by 4. Got it? So therefore, we have to consider the efficiency of A as 4. So therefore, the efficiency of B as 5, because that is 1/4 more than this initial value. If efficiency is like this, then we can consider the time requirement. So time, that will be in the reverse order, 5:4. And it is given that the time taken by A for the completion of the work, that is 60 days. So consider, if this 5 is representing 60 days, then what this 4 represents. So definitely we can easily find out, if 5 is representing 60 days, 4 is representing 48 days. So now we got the number of days required for A and B. Then we have to consider the next statement. They work together for 15 days. C alone completes the remaining work in 14 days. Then B and C together will complete 5/8 of the work. So here, if you are considering this one, if we are considering the efficiencies in that manner. So first of all, we have to illustrate this with the help of that LCM model. So here we are considering, after this step, we are rearranging the data. So here, if you are rearranging the data, here you will get A alone required 60 days. B alone required 48 days. So what is the LCM of 60 and 48? So that's the easiest way to reach the conclusion of such a question. What is the LCM of 60 and 48? So here, LCM of 60 and 48. So that we have to consider. So how to do it? Here we know that 12 is a common factor for both the numbers. This is 12 into 5. This is 12 into 4. So whenever we will have the values like this, you just multiply the inner values. That is 5 into 4, 20. So 20 into 12. So this is 20 because they don't have any common factors. 20 into 12. So that is 240. So this is a quick way to find the LCM of such numbers. Therefore, we are assuming the quantity of work as 240 units. Therefore, which will be the efficiency of A? Because A required 60 days for the completion of 240 units of work. So therefore 4 units of work per day. Similarly, this is 48, therefore that is 5 units of work. Got it? So these are the efficiencies. So here we don't have the data of C, so that we have to fill later. Got it? So then we are assuming the efficiency of C has some other values, so then how to find out this one? If we are considering the second data, they work together for 15 days. So considering that data, so A and B, so work together for 15 days. Then C alone complete the remaining work in 14 days. C alone complete the remaining work in 14 days. So we can rearrange the values like this. So this will be equal to 240, that is the total quantity of work. Here A, B, C are representing the efficiencies of those 3 persons, as we have the efficiencies of A and B are 4 and 5. So you can write this is 15 into 4 plus 5 plus 14 into C. So that is equal to 240. From this step we can find out what is the value of C. So here 14C. So that is 240 minus 9 times of 50. That's equal to 135. So 135. So after simplifying this one, what we will get? This is equal to 105. So therefore, what is the value of C? So that is 105 by 14. We know that both these values are multiples of 7, right? So this is 15 by 2 is equal to 7.5. Good. So we got the efficiency of C. So don't forget, that's the efficiency of C. So that is the efficiency of C, that is 7.5. So don't be disturbed while we are getting the efficiency of a person in the decimal form. Keep it like that. Then we have to find out. So then the work B and C together will complete 5/8 of the work, original work, in how many days? So here we know that what is our original work? Original work is 240 units. Therefore, what is 5/8 of the original work? That's the next step. So here we have to consider what is the 5/8 of the original work. Clear? Yes. So therefore, next step, 5/8 of total work. So what is the 5/8 of the total work? That is 5/8 of 240. Got it? 5/8 of 240. So this will be equal to 150. So 150 representing 150 units of work. 150 units of work. Got it? So we have to find out the number of days B and C together for the completion of such 150 units of work. So how to do it? Here, while we are considering the combined efficiency of B and C in such a situation. So what is the combined efficiency of B and C in such a situation? Here that is equal to 12.5. So understand, the combined efficiency of B and C in such a situation, that is 5 plus 7.5, that's equal to 12.5. So therefore, the time taken for B and C for the completion of this quantity of work, that is 150 divided by 12.5. 150 divided by 12.5. So what will be the value here? So here that's equal to 12 days. So here the answer is, after simplifying this one, we'll get that is 12 days. So that's a tricky concept-wise time and work question. Once you are familiar with the concepts properly, then only we can find the answer of similar type of question. So you have to understand the concepts clearly. There are lots of various methods applicable for this type of questions, but this is the most smart way of approach towards such a question. So for doing similar types of questions, a result-wise approach alone is not required. I mean, it's not possible. It's not adequate actually, because we have to get in familiar with all the very important basic concepts. So now we can move to the next question. By selling an article for 131.25, a trader gains as much percentage as the number of representing the cost price of the article. In order to earn 40% of At what price should he sell the article? Correct. So before moving to the question in an algebraic way, we know that it's some of the tricky algebraic kind of operations, and once you are familiar with the concepts while reading the question, we will get the idea that it will be an application of some of the quadratic equations. So here we have to consider it in a tricky way. So in order to earn 40% profit, so therefore that selling price is 140% of a cost price, right, or some price. So what's the inference there? 140% of a quantity means that value should be a multiple of 7. So 140% means 7 by 5 of cost price. Our focus should be on this 7. Our answer should be a multiple of 7. Look at the options. How many of them are multiples of 7? Here we have two options, 140 and 105. These two are two options. So here we are constrained. If this 140, that means other two answers are not possible here. So if the answer, if selling price is 140, correct? Then what is the cost price here? So cost price is 5 by 7 of selling price, correct? That is 100. So what it is mentioned here, the profit percentage is also be equal to this 100%. So that means if profit percentage is also equal to 100%, correct? So therefore, which was the initial selling price? Initial selling price means that is 131.25. So we are checking whether that will satisfy the condition here. So therefore, the initial selling price, so that is equal to 100 plus 100% of 100, correct? So therefore, that will be equal to 200. That's not equal to the given value 131.25. Therefore, what we can conclude? This is not the answer. And these two are not the answers. We already proved it. Therefore, this is the answer. Through this way, we can catch which will be the answer here. And you can simply verify with the second option. So that's a logical method. I just give you the algebraic concept of this question directly. So we can consider the algebraic method here. Here it is given that the cost price and the profit percentage are same. Suppose I am assuming the cost price as X rupee and the profit percentage as X percentage. Therefore, how we can connect with this value? This is 131.25. So that is cost price plus X% of cost price. Therefore, we can write it as 100 plus X by 100 of the cost price is equal to 131.25. We can directly write the steps. Then we can make it as a quadratic. This is X square plus 100X. This 100 towards right side, therefore take it again towards left side. This is 13125 equal to 0. So what is the challenge here? Here it's a quadratic equation. You have to find out the roots of this equation. So we know that the method to find out the roots of a quadratic equation, here the final constant value, that is the product of two factors. But the problem here, we have such a big value. So which are the factors of this value? Like that we have to factorize it. Anyway, I just give the factorized values directly. Here we know that 175 into 75 will make this product, and the difference will be equal to 100. So that's a required set of factors here. Clear? So that's the factorization. What's the requirement here? So while we are matching this negative sign, you have to understand the required factors, and the difference should be equal to 100. That means two numbers, their product will be equal to this value and the difference should be equal to 100. So we will get the values like this. I just give the direct method for finding the roots of a quadratic. Direct method for finding the roots. So never be confused. So whenever we are thinking about the factors of this number, so in your mind, this 175 will become positive and 75 as negative. But after that, what we are usually doing, X plus 175 equal to 0 and X minus 75 equal to 0. Then what will happen here? If you are considering those are positive, in the next step that will become negative. So that step is called zero equating step. So therefore, I am directly doing those types of conversions, what I am doing here. So for catching, which will be the sign of this one. So look at the sign of this middle term or the coefficient of x. So its opposite sign we have to give for the bigger value. So we have two factors. So one is bigger. So we have to give the opposite sign of this value, that as the sign of the bigger value. As we know, the product of these two roots are negative. Therefore, one root is negative, another root is positive. So we got the values. That's the trick behind this assigning the signs to both the values, both the roots. Therefore, here we are dealing with the positive values. Therefore, we have to consider x is equal to 75. Because why we are considering like that? Only the positive values. So those are cost price and profit percentage, definitely positive values. So therefore, x is 75. So that means x is 75. Here we have to consider this one. If x is 75, what is the cost price? Cost price is equal to 75 and profit percentage is also 75. So here we can conclude the next step or consider the next step. Here, as per our assumption, cost price is rupees 75. So then we need to find out, in order to earn 40% profit, what should be the selling price? So the new selling price. So we have to make a profit of 40%, therefore that is 140% of 75. Or you just simply find out 75 plus 75% means 40% of 75. Like that also we can find out. So this is 140% of 75. We just do it. So you just find out what is 140% of 75. So that is 100% of 75 itself. And what is 3/4 of 40? Like that also we can do. So this we can write in the reverse order also. 140% of 75. This is same as 75% of 140. Both are same. So this is 3/4 of 140. Correct? Like that also we can find out. So therefore this value, this is 3 into 4 times of 3, 12, then 20 is there, 45. So then 120, 15, 135. So here this value, here 3 times of 4, that's equal to 12. Then that is 20. 20 means 5 times. Just multiply them together. So 3 into 3, not 5, that's equal to 3 into 35, that will be equal to 105. So the answer is option 2. So we got that, or we reached such a conclusion through our initial type of operation also. So this is algebraic type of approach, but the most challenging part of this operation is this factorization, how to factorize those two values. So here 1, 3, 1, 2, 5 is different factors, you just split it. Then after that you just join them. So then check, so which of that combination will give such an idea that difference will be equal to 100. The cost of tiling the floor of a set rectangular room is 9,100 at 65 per meter square. The ratio of the length and breadth of the floor 7:5. Find the perimeter. So here we are considering what is length. So length of the floor, I just assume that is 7x meter, and breadth. So that is 5x. So therefore area. So that is equal to length into breadth. So therefore that is 35x square. So that is 7x and 5x. It is given that 35x square. So it's equal to total cost of flooring. So that is 9,100 and divide by 65. And you will get the value. Got it? So here we know that these two values, while we are considering these two values, are multiples of 13, right? So this is 13 into 7 is equal to 900. So that is 13 into 7, that is equal to 91. So 13 into 5 will be equal to this value. Got it? So while we are simplifying this one, this is equal to 140. This is 140. So therefore x square equal to 140 by 35, that's equal to 4. So then we will have the value of x plus or minus 2, but we are considering only positive 2 because x is a multiplicative factor in the given ratio. Correct? So therefore we have the value of x. Then we are going to find out what is the perimeter of such a rectangular floor. So what is the perimeter? So how to find out the perimeter? Here we got the length, that is 7 into x. So 7 into x, that has 14 meter, and that of its breadth, so that is 5 into x, that's equal to 10 meter. So then we have to find out the perimeter of this rectangular floor. Perimeter is equal to 2 times of length plus breadth. So that is 2 times of 14 plus 10. So that is 24 into 2. That is 48 meter. So the answer is option 3. Okay, move to the next question. The average of 10 numbers is 32.5. The average of the first 4 numbers is 25.6, and that of the last 3 numbers is 38.2. The 5th number is 50% more than the 6th number and 8 less than the 7th number. What is the average of 5th and 7th number? I just consider the 5th, 6th and 7th numbers. Those are the missing numbers here. So those are A5, A6 and A7. So never consider they are in AP. So it's not mentioned like that. Those 3 are 3 independent numbers. 5th, 6th and 7th. We don't know what's the order here, whether they are in ascending order or descending order, or is there any other relations other than the relationship mentioned in the question. So first of all, we have to find out what is the sum of these 3 values. What is the sum of these 3 values? Here, the average of 10 numbers is 32.5. Therefore, the sum of those all 10 numbers, 10 into 32.5. From there, we have to subtract. The first 4 numbers, their average is 25.6. Therefore, 4 into 25.6 plus the last 3 numbers, their average is 38.2. Got it? So we have to multiply them and add up together. So here this is equal to 325 minus. So what is the product of these all values? So here this is equal to 4 into 6, that's equal to 24. 2 is there. 5 into 4, 20 plus 2, 22 is there. 2. So that is 102.4 plus. So this is equal to 0.6, 24. So that is 114.6. So that is equal to 325 minus. What is the sum of these values? 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. 4 plus 2, 7. 4 plus 2, 6 plus 1, 7. So this is 1, this is 2. So 325 minus 217. So find the difference here. So this is equal to 8. So this is 2, 0, and this value is 108. So that is the sum of these 3 values, and it is given that sum of the relationship. What is the relationship here? So while we are considering these numbers, it is given that the 5th number is 50% more than the 6th number, 8 less than the 7th number. So while we are considering the values, so this is A5 and A6, so A7. So we are starting from this middle value. So this first value is 50% more than the 6th number. Therefore, I am starting this one, this as x. Instead of x, if you are considering that as 2x, then the calculation will become easily we can do. If the middle 6th number is 2x. So what is the 5th number? That is 50% more than this value. So what I can write? That is 3x. 50% more than. And the 6th number, and 8 less than the 7th number. Good. So which value is 8 less than the 7th number? 5th number is 8 less than the 7th number. Therefore, the 7th number we can write it as 3x plus 8. So these 3 are the numbers. It is given that sum of these 3 numbers is equal to 108. So therefore, we have to find out what is the value that is the average between these 2 numbers. Correct. So from there, we can find out what is the value of x. So here, if we are considering sum of these 3 values, that is 3x plus 2x plus, so then 3x plus 8. So that is equal to 108. Or this is equal to 8x equal to 100. So what is the value x here? x is equal to 12.5. If x is equal to 12.5, so we know that the average, we have to find out the average of this A5 and A7. So what is the average of A5 and A7? Like that we have to consider what is the average of A5 and A7. So therefore, average of A5 and A7. So that is equal to 3x plus 8 by 2. So this is equal to 3x plus 4. So here we will get what is 3x plus 4 here. Instead of x, you can put the value of x as 12.5. So this is 3 into 12.5 plus 4. So this 3 into 12.5, that's equal to 37.5 plus 4. So which is equal to 41.5. So the answer is 41.5. So look at the options. What is the answer here? So answer is 41.5 here. Got it. Next question. So ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. AB and DC meet at F. So here we just consider, so ABCD, this is a cyclic quadrilateral. So this AB and DC meet at F. So when we are extending these two sides. Similarly, here when AD and BC, so here AD, if you are extending AD and this one BC, then they will meet at the point E. If angle BAD equal to 68 degree, then angle AAB equal to 27 degree, then what is the measure of BFC? So we have to find out the measure of this angle, that is BFC. So then how to find out this one? So here, which are the important points that we can, or with the help of theorems or the properties. So which are the important points that we can consider? So here, if we are considering the concept of angle sum of a triangle. So if you are considering these triangles, that is ABE. So consider triangle ABE. So in triangle ABE, in triangle ABE. So it is known that this angle A equal to 68 degree, this angle BE equal to 27 degree. Therefore, what is angle B? So we can find out the angle B here. Got it? So what is the angle B here? Therefore, in triangle ABE, angle A equal to 68 degree, it is given. So angle E equal to 27 degree, that is also given. So what is the sum of these two angles? That's equal to 95 degree. Got it? That is 95 degree. Therefore, what is the angle B here? So angle B, that is 180 minus 95. Correct? 180 minus 95. So that's equal to 85 degree. So this angle is 85 degree. So then we know that this ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. Therefore, what is the angle D in cyclic quadrilateral ABCD? So here we can consider the angle ADC. So that angle ADC is an angle of cyclic quadrilateral. Don't forget, this is only the case of a triangle AB. Then after that we are considering this ADC. So we know that the opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. So therefore, this is 180 minus 85. So that is equal to 95 degree. So that means here this angle is 95 just because the opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. That means their sum should be equal to 180 degree. Then again, consider the triangle ADF. So while we are considering the triangle ADF, so what will happen here? So if you are considering the triangle ADF, so this will be equal to. So in triangle ADF, in triangle ADF, DF. So we have the angle A equal to 68 degree, angle A, so that is 68 degree. Angle D, we already got it 95 degree. So what is the sum of these two angles? So that's equal to 13. So this is 163 degree. If this angle is 163 degree, we have to find out what is the third angle. So in this triangle, the third angle, that is the angle BFC. So therefore, angle BFC, so that is equal to 180 minus 163, so which is equal to 17 degree. So this is the angle. Got it? So there only one property, main property we used. So that's related to cyclic quadrilateral. In a cyclic quadrilateral, opposite angles are supplementary. And the next very simple concept we applied, that is the angle sum property. In a triangle, sum of all the three angles will be equal to 180 degree. So next is a very simple data interpretation question. Here we just consider the data. Medicine of 3 different flavors, ABC, in lakh bottles manufactured by a pharmaceutical company over the period of 5 years from 2010 to 2014. So we have to find out production of flavor of A in 2012. So here we just consider A in 2012. Got it? A in 2012. So here, what is A in 2012? So that is this 50. Got it? So that is 50. And production of flavor B in all the years. So B in all the years. B in all the years. So we just add up together all the values. That is 70 plus 40. 70 plus 40 plus, so next one 50. And the next year again 40. And next year 65. So this is the production from B. So that is the average production we have to find out. So here we have to consider average of this value. So here, what is the average of B? So here we just divide these all values by how many observations here? Here we have 5 years or 5 observations. So we just find out the values. So instead of doing it in a complicated manner, we just divide here by 5. So that is 14 plus 8. So that is 22. 22 plus 10, 32. 32 plus 8, 40. 40 plus 13, 53. So this is equal to 53. Got it? So then what we have to find out? So here we have to find out. So this is this value, that production is 50. So A's production is 50. So this is what percentage less than? Production of A is what percentage less than the average production of flavor B in all the years. So therefore the required percentage. So required percentage. We have to find out this 50 is what percentage less than 53. So 50 is what percentage less than 53, or that's simply 3 by 53. 3 by 53 into 100%. So think about, if the denominator is 50, so this will be equal to 6%, right? But the denominator is greater than 50, therefore our answer is slightly less than 6%. This is a logical conclusion. Slightly less than 6%, therefore the possible answer is 5.66. Otherwise you have to do the operation for doing the most accurate type of operations here. But here we are doing the approximations. Here we know that if it is 3 by 50, so that's equal to 6%. 3 by 53, therefore our answer is slightly less than 6%. Slightly less than 6%, therefore 5.66. So next question, if 5-digit number 688xy is divisible by 3, 7 and 11, then what is the value of 5x plus 3y? That's another tricky question here. If a number is divisible by 3, 7 and 11, so therefore it is given that 688xy is divisible by 3, 7 and 11. So what is the conclusion here? What is the LCM of 3, 7 and 11? So 3, 7 and 11. So their LCM is the product. LCM is the product itself. So that is 3 into 7, that is 21. 21 into 11. So that is 231. Therefore, what we can conclude, the 688xy is divisible by 231. Correct? So now we just consider which is a suitable value of xy will satisfy that as divisible by 231. For that purpose, we just consider the normal division. So normal division, this 688xy. So this we have to consider. This is 688xy. We divide it by 231. So that's the usual division. So here we know that 2 times of this value. So instead of this xy, we just put 2 zeros. Correct? Instead of this xy, we just put 2 zeros. So like that we can do. So this is 68800. I just consider the base value. Instead of x and y, I just put those values are 0, 0. So then we are checking. When we divide it by 231, how to do the operation here? This is equal to 462. Find the difference. That is 6. So this is 2. This is 2. Then put h0 here. So we assume like that. So then how many? This 231 slice in 2260. So here 9 times. So this is 9. 3 into 9, 27. 2 is there. 18 plus 2, 20. So again, this is 1. This is 8. This is 1810. So then think about the next such value. So if I'm considering 8 times of 231, so that is equal to 8. Then this is 24. 2 is there. So this is 16 plus 2, 18. Understand this step. Here, we know that here this difference is minus 38. Actually, in this step, this 231 won't lies 8 times. But we have to consider which will be the immediately next possibility. That's why I took 8 times. So then we have the idea. If this 0, 0 is 38, that number should be divisible by 231. So that's the logic here. So understand the importance of that kind of an operation. This if instead of this 0, 0, if it is 38, so what will happen? That number will become divisible by 231. So therefore, we got that this xy, or we can conclude it like this, 68838 is divisible by 231. Correct? Or this x y equal to 38, hence x equal to 3 and y equal to 8. That's only one possibility. If you need to consider which will be the immediately next to multiple of 231, we have to add a 231 to this number. So at that time, this 8 will make, say, there may be some changes occurred in 8. So that's a 3-digit addition. So we have to consider rest of all these 3 digits are constant, or it's fixed. Only the variation can be possible with x and y. So we have the values of x and y like this, 3 and y easily. Then we have to find out what is 5x plus 3y. So then 5x plus 3y. So 5 into 3, 15, plus 3 into 8, 24. So the answer is 39. So that's a tricky question like this. So this type of operations you have to be familiar. That's a very important type of operation. Okay, move to the next question. So next question, it's a question from trigonometry. So it's an identity based question. 5 sin square theta minus 4 cos theta minus 4 is equal to 0. And theta lies in the first quadrant. Then we have to find out the expression, value of the expression cot theta minus plus cosec theta. As we know, sin square theta, so that is equal to 1 minus cos square theta. So by using that relationship, we can convert this expression like this, equation like this, 1 minus cos square theta minus 4 cos theta minus 4 is equal to 0. So we can convert the equations. So this is 5 minus 5 cos square theta minus 4 cos theta minus 4 equal to 0. or this will be 5 cos square theta plus 4 cos theta minus 1 equal to 0. We rearrange the values like this. Then after that, we have to find out the factors of this quadratic. Then only we can reach the conclusion of the value of cos theta. So for that purpose, I just rearrange this quadratic again as this 4 theta. This 4 theta, I am splitting it as 5 cos theta minus 1 cos theta. So that will be equal to this 4 cos theta. Then again this minus 1 equal to 0. From the first two terms, what we can take as common? So here we can take as 5 cos theta. I can take as common. So then this will become cos theta plus 1. And minus. So we can take 1 as common. So then here the inside terms are cos theta plus 1 is equal to 0. So therefore we can conclude 5 cos theta minus 1 into cos theta plus 1 is equal to 0. So therefore cos theta is equal to 1 by 5 or cos theta equal to minus 1. It is given that theta lies in the first quadrant. If theta lies in the first quadrant, which value we can consider as cos theta, because cos theta is positive here. Got it? So if theta lies in the first quadrant, therefore the value of cos theta, we have to consider that as 1 by 5 because the theta is positive here. Then after that, we have to find out the values of cot theta and cosec theta. So how to do it? So for finding this one, we know that the relationship here, this cos square is equal to here sine square. So by using the same result, so cos theta equal to 1 by 5. Therefore, what is sine square theta like that we can find out. So if cos theta equal to 1 by 5, so therefore this is 1 minus 1 by 5. So this is 1 minus 1 by 5 the whole square. Got it? Or this will be equal to 24 by 25. Or if you need to find out what is sine theta here, so that is sine theta. So that is root of 24 by 25. What is root of 24 by 25? Root of 24 by 25 is 2 root 6 divided by 5. That is sine theta. So we need to find out cosec theta and cot theta. So if sine theta is 2 root 6 by 5, then what is cosec theta? So that is the inverse here. That is 5 by 2 root 6. Then what is cot theta? So cot theta is nothing but cos theta by sine theta. So therefore that is cos theta by sine theta. So what is the cos theta here? That is 1 by 5. What is sine theta? That is 2 root 6 by 5. So that is simply 1 by 2 root 6. So then we have to find out the value of cot theta plus cosec theta. So here, what is the value of cot theta plus cosec theta? Therefore, cot theta plus cosec theta. Here the value of cot theta as 1 by 2 root 6 and cosec theta we got that as 5 by 2 root 6. As the denominators are same, we can add the numerators together. So that is 6 by 2 root 6, or this is equal to root 6 by 2. So this is the answer. Here that is root 6 by 2. So this is the option. Clear? Then move to the next question. Suman travels from place X to Y and Rekha travels from Y to X simultaneously. After meeting on the way, Suman and Rekha reach Y and X 3 hours 12 minutes and 1 hour 48 minutes respectively. If the speed of Rekha is 9 km per hour, the speed of Suman. It's a tricky time and distance question. It's a concept related to the relative speed. So first of all, you have to understand the concept here. So you just consider their journey in a straight line. Got it? So it's a journey here. So here the points are X and Y. X and Y. Correct. So here Suman travels from X to Y. So Suman travels from X to Y. Rekha travels in the reverse order. Correct. So they started. After a certain time, they met at a certain point. Correct. So suppose they met at this point. So this is the meeting point here. So during this period, we just separate their trip. So Suman here traveled this distance in T hours, we just consider T hours. And this Rekha also covered this distance during that same T hours, because they started simultaneously and met at a point in between. So there the time is constant. Time is constant. Then after that, after meeting on the way, Suman and Rekha reach 3 hours 12 minutes. So here for the remaining part of the distance, for covering this remaining part of the distance, Suman took 3 hours 12 minutes. 3 hours 12 minutes. So how to rearrange this 3 hours 12 minutes? 3 hours 12 minutes. 12 minutes is 3 and 1 by 5. Got it? So we can express it's in the form of improper fractions. So that's equal to, this is equal to 16 by 5. 16 by 5 hours. Similarly, what's the time taken by Rekha for covering this remaining part of the distance? So that is equal to 1 hour 48 minutes. So that is 1 hour 48 minutes. So what is 48 by 60? What is 48 by 60? That is 4 by 5. So that's equal to 9 by 5. So this is a basic illustration. Understand the concept? The Suman and Rekha started from two ends and they started simultaneously. After T hours, we don't know what's that time, that meeting time. After T hours, they met at a point. That means during that period, so this particular distance covered by Suman, in T hours, this distance covered, that's another difference, covered by Rekha in T hours. Then after that, Suman took 16 by 5 hours for finishing the trip and Rekha took 9 by 5 hours for finishing the trip. Then how we can connect it, or how we can find out the speed of the other person? Is it possible to find out the ratio of the speeds of the persons? So how to find the ratio of the speeds in such a situation? Here we know that if you are considering a constant distance here, so while considering this constant distance, time taken by Suman is T and time taken by Rekha is 9 by 5. Got it? So what it is? So that's their time ratio. And while we are considering the right side, time taken by Suman is 16 by 5 and Rekha is T. So that's also the time ratio. So can we equate them? Sure. So whenever we are considering two different distances, so here this first particular distance, so there took the times like this. If you are considering another distance, when the distance is constant and the time will be in this ratio, so we can equate these two time ratios. So when we are equating these two time ratios, here you will get the value T square. So that is equal to 16 by 5 into, this is 9 by 5. So if you are considering this one, 16 by 5 is 2 into 9 by 5. Got it? So that's the time here. Clear? So whenever we are multiplying these values, 16 by 5 and 9 by 5. So here this is T square. So therefore what is the value of T here? So T. So square root of 16 is equal to 4. 4 into 3, that is 12 by 5. So this T is 12 by 5. So we have to find out the ratio of the speeds of Suman and Rekha. For catching this ratio of speeds and Suman and Rekha, so you just simply consider this first part. So what is this first part here? So here it is given that this Suman took T hours. For covering the same distance, Rekha took 9/5 hours. Therefore, for covering a constant distance, time taken by Suman is to Rekha. So that is, so we have the value of T as 12/5, and we have the value of this time, that is 9/5. So which is equal to 4/3. Clear? So that is 4/3. If this is the time taken by Suman and Rekha for covering a constant distance, so then which will be the ratio of their speeds? So therefore, here we can consider the ratio of their speeds as, so ratio of speeds, or otherwise we just consider that's in the form of a fraction. So that is speed of Suman is to speed of Rekha. So that is equal to the inverse of this ratio. So which is equal to 3/4. Which is equal to 3/4. So what we have to find out, what is they are asking in our question? It is given that the speed of Rekha is 9 km/h, then speed of Suman, correct? That we have to find out. So here, if we are considering, those values are in the ratio. So speed of Rekha is representing by 4. It is given that speed of Rekha is 9 km/h. Then what is the speed of Suman? So that's another tricky step of operation. Here, if we are considering speed of Rekha, so here the speed of Rekha is 9 km/h. Then we have to find out the speed of Suman. So that's another tricky type of operation. So we can easily catch this value. This is 9/4 into 3. So that is 27/4. So how many 4s here? 6 times of 4 is equal to 24. The remaining 3 will be there. This is 3/4 km/h. So this is the answer. So that's the most tricky question. Understand the concept, basic assumptions, how we reach the conclusion. Here 6 and 3/4 km/h. So hence, which will be the answer here? That the last option, 6 and 3/4 km/h. Clear? So move to the next question. Triangle ABC is equilateral triangle. D is a point on the side BC such that BD is to BC equal to 1:3, AD equal to 5√7. Then the side of the triangle is. So that's a tricky question, and that's a very important result which you proved in your school level. So I just give you the direct applications of that concepts here. So here first we just consider, we have to draw a triangle here, an equilateral triangle. Suppose if you are considering an equilateral triangle. So draw an equilateral triangle here. So consider this equilateral triangle. So in this equilateral triangle ABC, ABC, this is a point on BD is to BC equal to. So here D is a point here on, and BD is to BC equal to 1:3. So I just draw such a line here. Suppose that will be like this. BD is to BC is equal to 1:3. So here this is BD is to BC. So this point is D. So here BD is 1x, we just consider, and BC, so that is equal to, this is the total, BC equal to 3x. BD is to BC 3x. Therefore, if you are drawing a median here, what will happen here? So if you are drawing a median, so median in the sense, so this is to its midpoint, you just draw a median here. So this is a midpoint. So therefore, this median, this formed a right angle here. And it is given that the measure of this AD, line segment AD, that is 5 root 7. This is 5 root 7. So therefore, you just simply consider, what is this width? So that portion is this portion that I just named this as DE. And this DE is 0.5x, or that is equal to x by 2. And what is the height of an equilateral triangle? So height of an equilateral triangle, so that is equal to root 3 by 2a. So instead of a, here that side is equal to 3x. Therefore, this is root 3 by 2, 3x. Or this will be equal to root 3, 3x, or 3 root 3x. This is 3 root 3x by 2. So apply Pythagoras theorem. So then try to find out the value of x here. So how to apply the Pythagoras theorem here? So that is base square plus altitude square is equal to hypotenuse square. So like that we can find out the value of x. Then once you will get the value of x, you just simply find out what is 3x. So apply Pythagoras theorem. Here this is x by 2 the whole square plus 3 root 3 by 2x the whole square is equal to 5 root 7 the whole square. Got it? So this is equal to x square by 4 plus 27x square by 4, and this is equal to 25 into 7. 25 into 7. Keep the value like this. You don't want to multiply it. So this is 28x square is equal to 25 into 7 into 4. So this 28 and 7 into 4, 28 are same. Therefore, x is equal to plus or minus 5. As we are dealing with quantities, we have to take only positive value, or that as a multiplicative factor here in this ratio. So if we got x equal to 5, then we can find out what is the side of the triangle. So side of triangle. So that is 3x as per the assumption, which is equal to 15 centimeter. Got it? So that's our answer. That is 15 centimeter. Okay, move to the next question. So next, the income of A is 20% less than the income of B, and the income of C is 70% of the sum of the incomes of A and B. The income of D is 25% more than the income of C. If the difference between the incomes of B and D is 23,000, then what is the income of A? In such a question, what you have to do, you just do it with some of the plug-in values. So you just identify from which value we have to start our assumptions. Here, we are considering the values like this, A, B, C, D. I just start from B because our first statement, it's that A is comparing with B. So it is given that income of A is 20% less than the income of B. Therefore, income of A, we can write it as 80. B. And the income of C is 70% of the sum of the incomes of A and B. So sum of the incomes of A and B, that is 180. So what is 70% of 180? That we have to consider. So what is 70%? 70% of 180. So that's, you just simply multiply this 7 and 18. That's it. You just simply cut both the zeros. 7 into 18, that's a simple step. 7 into 18. So we know that 10 times of 7, 70. 8 times of 7, 56. So that will be equal to 126. Clear? So therefore, C, it is 126. Got it? So then, which will be the next step? So then, what is the value of D here? So D is 25% more than the income of C. So D, 25% more than the income. So that means 126 is there. That's the income of C. It's 25%. It's 25%. That means 126 by 4, right? It's 25%. That means by 4. So what is this value? This is equal to 3 is there. So 12, 1.5. Got it? So that is 126 plus 31.5. So that's equal to 157.5. So this value is 157.5. So we have the values like this. Got it? We have the values like this. So we started from here, then move to A, then move to C, then move to D. So these are the representative values. Again, don't be irritated while we are doing with some of the decimal values. In some situations, it will occur like that. Otherwise, you have to start with the 200. That won't be a problem. Correct? Then after that, if the difference between the incomes of B and D. So difference between the incomes of B and D. What is the difference here? That is 57.5. Then what is the income of A? So as this 57.5, 57.5, that's the difference between B and D. So that's the difference between B and D. So that is 57.5. This is equal to 23,000. Then what is the income of A? So that is represented by 80. So we have to find out the value here. So we just simplify it. So that's equal to, we just observe the values. 57.5 into which value will make this 2300, 23,000. So while observing the values here, you will get 57.5 into 4. Think about what is 57.5 into 4? 57.5 into 4. We know that 7.5 into 4. What is 7.5 into 4? So that's equal to 30. And 50 into 4, that's equal to 200. Therefore, 230. So therefore, put 2 zeros into 400. Then we will get this value. So we are doing the same operation in the second step. It's a kind of unitary approach. Then what will be the value? This is 32,000. So that is 32,000. Hence the answer is option 3. Yeah. So this is the plug-in kind of approach. So move to the final set of data interpretation question. It's a kind of caselet question. So understand the question and make some conclusions here. First of all, you have to make a tabulation also be here. So it is given that two renowned international software companies, namely Polaris and Contingent, started their business in the year 2007, and both the companies were in competition with each other in profit making. So and we have some of the data like this, their profit percentage. At that time, that's a very important point. We don't have the expenditure or the actual profit. If the expenditure is not available there, it's not possible to find out the profit percentage. Correct? So anyway, here we have the period up to 2012 from 2007. So first of all, you have to tabulate the values here. Tabulate the values. So how to do the tabulation? Here it is given that two companies. Two companies means one is Polaris and another one is Contingent. So here, if we are tabulating this one, this is Polaris and Contingent. So years we can write like this: 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. So these are the years. So then we are considering the tables or table values here. It is given that Polaris earned 30%. Two companies are in the making. So Polaris 30% in 2007. So 30% in 2007 and 2018 also. So 2018 also. Correct? And further increases it to 40% in 2009. 40% in 2009. However, its profit percentage decreased to 20% the next year, 2010. On the other hand, Contingent opened with the 40% profit, in 2007, but slowly decreased to 35%. Slowly decreased to 35% in 2008 and 30% in 2009. 30% in 2009. Interestingly, both the companies increases the profit percentage in the later year considerably. Polaris increased its profit to 35% in 2011 and 50% in 2012. Correct? Similarly, 50% in 2000. Simultaneously, Contingent increases profit percentage to 45% in 2010, 50% in 2011, and 60% in 2012. So these are the data like that. We have to create a set of data like this. With the help of this data, we can reach a conclusion of the questions. So here we can consider our first question. So what is the increase in the profit of contingent company in percentage from year 2011 to 2012? So here we have to consider the data of contingent here. So contingent. So then it's 2011. What is 2011 value? So that is 50. So 2012. So that is 60. Here understand we have to find out the variation occurred in the profit percentages, not profits. If the question is asked about the profit, increase in profit, it cannot be determined because the expenditure is not given or the revenue is not given. So therefore the amount is not given, therefore at that time we cannot find out the variation, actual variation occurred in the percentage, but profit. But here percentage wise variation. Percentage wise variation means this 50 becomes 60. What is the increase occurred here? 10 out of 50. So therefore the required percentage. So required percentage 10 by 50 into 100. So that is 1 by 5 into 100, that's equal to 20%. So there is an increase of 20%. Whenever we are doing the further step of questions, we have to use this tabulation. So while explaining the rest of the questions, I won't write down these values. So you have to note it down on your paper. Then on the basis of that, I think I will explain the rest questions. Here, the second question, we are considering this question, what percentage of the total profit making of Polaris company in 2011 and 12. So here we just consider 2011 and 2012. What is the profit percentage made by Polaris company from the earlier data? Those values are 35 and 50. So which is equal to 85%. Got it? These are the percentage values. So we cannot simply consider the means whether these two profit percentage based on the same expenditure. Only we have to consider the percentage point. There is no need to put the percentage symbol actually there. No meaning there. So then next one, contingent company, there 2007 and 2008. So from the data again, which will be the value here? So those values are 40 and 35. So that is 40 and 35. The sum is equal to 75. We need to find out what percentage of the first value is second. Got it? What percentage of the first value is second? So how to find out it? Therefore, the required percentage. The 75 is what percentage of 85? This is the required step of operation. So we know that both these values are multiples of 5, right? So that's that kind of a simplification only possible. This is 15, this is 17 of 100. So here we know that if it is 15 by 16, so at that time we have some conclusions, or 15 by 15, that is 100%. So therefore that is, our answer is less than 100%. So just do the normal simplifications. So while we are doing the normal simplifications here, we will get the percentage is 88.23%. That's a normal simplification, hence the answer is option 4. Okay, then move to the next question here. If the income of contingent company in 2008 was 200 crore, what was its profit in 2009? So that's a tricky question. So income of 2008 contingent company, here we just consider the profit distribution of these companies in 2008 and 2009. We have the data like this, 2008 and 2009. So those values are 35 and 30. So this is 35% and this is 30%. Got it? It is given that the income in 2008 as 200 crores. So that means income in 2008 as 200 crores means, suppose the expenditure of these companies in these periods are X and Y, we just consider. So then income, so this is 135% of X. And what about this one? This is 130% of Y. That's it, because there is a profit percentage of 30%, therefore we have to consider like that. And this 135% of X is equal to 200 crore. Is it a sufficient data to find out the value of Y? As the question doesn't have any additional information. Therefore, it's not possible to find out the income or expenditure of this contingent company in the year 2009. So as y is unknown here, so our answer is cannot be determined. That means from the given data, it's not possible to find out the expenditure or income of the same company in the year 2009. Hence, it cannot be determined. The answer is cannot be determined. And the second last question, what is the difference between the company with the highest annual average profit percentage and that of the company with the lowest average annual profit percentage? What is the difference between the company? So it's a percentage wise difference we have to consider. So here we are considering what is the difference between the company with the highest average profit percentage and that of the company with the lowest annual average profit. But we have to find out the profit percentage of both the companies. So how to do it? That is the difference in average annual growth rate, annual profit percentage. So that is simply the difference between their average, or first of all we just consider which is the sum of the entire profit percentage of those companies. So here if we are considering the first company, so that is Polaris, so there sum of the values, while we are adding those all values there, then you will get that sum will be equal to 205. So for the case of Polaris, that was 205, and suppose we just consider the sum of Polaris, so that is equal to 205, and the sum of the contingent, so while we are adding those all values together, that will be equal to 260. So from that data tabulation, so therefore what is the average there means this is simply 260 minus difference in their average percentage profit 204 divided by 6. First of all, you have to take the sum, then take the differences. So sum in the sense sum of all the values. So that means the average of contingent is 260 by 6 and that of Polaris means 205 by 6. So which kind of average it is? So that is average of all the profit percentages. So we have to find out the difference between those two average. Then we are doing the operations directly like this. Instead, we can consider 260 by 6 minus 205 by 6, both are same. So then find out what is the difference here. This is equal to 55 by 6. So what is 55 by 6? We know that 9 times of 6 is equal to 54. So 1 is there, 1 by 6, that's equal to 1, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, etc. Or its rounded figure is 9.17. So this is the answer. Got it? Then the final question of the set. What is the percentage increase in profit percentage of Polaris company from the year 2010 to 2011? So here Polaris in 2010 and 2011 from the data we have to consider 2010 20 and 2011 35. So here this is 20% and 35%. We have to find out the percentage of increase reported here. So what's the increase here? That is 50. So therefore the required percentage of increase, required percentage, that is equal to 15 by 20 into 100%. So which is equal to 3 by 4 into 100. So that is equal to 75%. That is 75%. So the answer is option 2. So these are the 25 questions from the CUET model exam. But now you experience a higher level difficulty set of questions in the CUET model exam. And then you got the idea how you can properly keep a time management while attending such a question. So if it will be the most time consuming or most challenging question like this, at that time what will happen? Usually each and every candidate have to spend too much time for finding the answer of this type of questions. So how we can make a marginal difference in such a situations? We have to practice it well. So practice it well. All the variety, all the types, all the levels of difficulties of questions also you have to get in familiar. So we have to expect such kind of words. It means a variety set of questions in your exams, and different levels of practice also very important. And these all questions are more subjective rather than the logical kind of approach. So right now we can wind up. Thank you.